Hello friend, in this video I'm going to be introducing you to the details of the Eloise hand lettering worksheets. These are printable hand lettering worksheets, and as you can see there are quite a few pages here once I have printed them out, so I want to give you a little peek inside into what you can expect with the Eloise hand lettering worksheets. So first of all, let's start with the first page of hand lettering. We are going to start here with the A, and this is lowercase a, and as you can see there is an entire page for just practice of this one letter. So the Eloise is the first worksheet set where I started doing a full page for each letter, and the reason that I did that is because, well, there are a couple of reasons. First of all, I think that it really simplifies your hand lettering when you're able to break it down into strokes. So an A is not just an A, it's this oval shape, and then it is this underturn. Now I can tell you that, and that can be helpful, but what I think is really helpful is if you can trace it by itself. So here you can see I have about two lines of the oval and then 2 lines of the underturn. Now the amount of these individual strokes that you get does vary a little bit between some letters, because some of the letters in the alphabet, especially when we get to capital letters, have several different strokes. So I didn't want a whole page of strokes, but you will get some practice of these individual strokes before you even move on to your letter. So then we get down here and we have all of these lines of your lowercase a. Now this might seem like a lot, and it might actually be a lot for you to do all in one sitting depending on how long you're wanting to practice, but you can come back to it and you can practice a little bit each day, or you can practice one letter at a time. And then I also have some other types of pages for you if you don't want to practice this entire page, so I'll get to that in a little bit too. One thing that I did want to point out specifically about the Eloise worksheets is that this hand lettering style was created for a monoline pen, and that means we're not doing thick and thin strokes. It's all one size stroke no matter whether you are going up or down with your strokes. So because of that, it means you can use a regular pen. So I'm going to show you some hand lettering with some of the pens that I really like, but you honestly could use any regular pen or even a pencil. So that is one of the things I love about this worksheet set. You do not need to buy fancy pens in order to create this hand lettering style. So after we get through our lowercase letters, one per page, we get to capital letters. And this is just a capital letter style that I came up with that I think looks really nice with this modern upright style of hand lettering. And so, like I said, sometimes you'll have multiple different strokes. And so that's why, for example, the F has 3 different strokes that make up this F, so you just have one line for each one there. But as you can see, they're kind of small, so that's still a lot of practice there. Not only that, but these are printable, so you can continue to print them off over and over as you need to keep practicing. Not only that, but I do recommend tracing paper, which I will get into in just a little bit. So the reason that I created these worksheets to have so much practice is because I truly believe that practice is really just how you can solidify your style and help make it become like second nature to you. And so I think that all that practice is really helpful. But I know that not everybody wants to practice an entire page of lowercase a, especially as you begin to grow in your skills. And so I wanted these worksheets to grow with you. And so that's why I also included these Quickstart pages. So you have these pages that have one line of your uppercase, one line of your lowercase, and then one line of the 2 put together. Now there are a couple of reasons that I did it this way. Number one, like I said, to have a way to practice a little bit more quickly. I could probably sit down with this set while I'm watching a show and just kind of practice the whole page in one sitting and feel like I got a lot done, even though it didn't take me hours and hours and hours. That being said, I also wanted to show you a little bit of an example of putting a capital letter with a lowercase letter. Now this is not every single combination where it's like AA, AB, AC, AD. It is just that letter with its counterpart. And so the connections might look different depending on which combinations you're doing, but I thought this was a really good introduction to that because I know it can be kind of tricky, like do we connect the capital letter or don't we? So with the A here, there's kind of a natural connection, but with the G here, there's not, and that's okay too. And so I hope that these help you to get a feel for what it might look like to hand letter using both uppercase and lowercase letters. The next pages that I want to show you are also pages that I created to help you with those lettering connections. I think one really fun way to practice lettering connections is to practice words. And the reason is because there are so many different lettering combinations and they're not all really connected exactly the same. So when I created these worksheets, I hand draw them. I don't use fonts off of the computer. If I've ever made a font, it's because I hand lettered it and then made it into a font, but that's not what these are. I hand letter these one by one. And so I feel like that helps to give you some real life examples of what these different lettering connections look like, because my M might look a little bit different than my MI. And so I wanted to help you get the feel of these different connections in a really fun way. So this specific set has 101 motivational practice words, and you can use those here to practice your words and to practice your lettering connections. Or if you're someone like me who I sit down and struggle to think of things to practice, this can also be really helpful as well, because you can just trace along and the words are already there for you. And then the next part of this worksheet set is, again, just to grow with you. Maybe you do not even want to do a whole line of each letter, and you just want to practice your whole alphabet. This is a page that you have your continuous alphabet strokes, A through Z, just over and over, to fill up this page. And not only is this great to just help you solidify your alphabet, to help this lettering style become like second nature, but it also can be great for testing pens if you are somebody who likes to try different pens. So you could label your pens over here and then practice each one, and you have a great comparison for seeing how different pens work with this lettering style. So as you can see, the lettering is faded out for you to practice right on top of your paper. I really like the HP Premium 32 paper, and I recommend it when I'm talking about brush pens, but I will say that if you are just using a monoline pen, which is what these worksheets are for, you don't necessarily need a fancy type of paper. So if you can't find the Premium 32 or you want to just use the copy paper you already have, that's completely fine as well. I do personally like using it because it's smooth, so even if I'm using a monoline pen, I'll still usually print it out on something like this. However, the main reason that I recommend it for brush pens is so that it does not fray your brush pen. So if you're using a pen that doesn't have the capability of fraying, then it shouldn't be an issue. That being said, there are a lot of pages in here and you may not want to have to print this out more than once. So in that case, I would recommend using a tracing paper. I've tried several, and this is the one that I've been using and really enjoying. It's called Bachmore tracing paper, and I think it's pretty affordable, and it's a nice and smooth tracing paper that has held up to both my brush pens and regular pens. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you some hand lettering using this tracing paper, and then also using some different pens. One thing that I will also mention is that with the Eloise worksheets, you actually get access to 3 different videos to kind of help you with your worksheets. And one of those videos includes different pens that I like to use for this lettering style. So make sure to check that out. It's a separate download that has the link for you. And that's not something that I offer yet with all of my worksheet sets, but I am working towards adding those. So that is something you can look forward to, but currently right now, the Eloise is the only one that has those extra videos with it. The first pen that I'm using though is the Amazon Basics felt tip pen. And I really like this one for monoline lettering. So this is what it looks like, and let me show you the tip of this pen up close. And then another pen that I'm going to show you the lettering with is this Zig Clean Color dot pen, but I'm actually using this 0.5 millimeter tip. I think this may come in some other pens besides the dot one, but I'm just not positive which ones because this is the one that I use it from. But this pen has a little bit different feel. It's a water-based pigment, and yeah, let's see what this looks like. But if you are somebody who has brush pens and you just want to use those Tombow dual brush pens, this bullet tip actually works as well. So let's see what that looks like. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I am going to actually add a Letter With Me video linked in the description box below. If you have never heard of my Letter With Me videos, those videos are where I create a video practicing hand lettering and I leave it in real time. I usually put some music over it so you can listen to it, or you can mute it and listen to something else if you prefer. But I wanted to help you practice more because, like I said, I truly think practice is what can help you take your hand lettering to the next level. And I think tracing just simplifies that process. So between the worksheets and the Letter With Me video, I hope that those can really help to motivate you to practice your hand lettering and also to help you on those days that you might feel kind of stuck. Now, I'm not sure if you knew this, but a lot of times lettering videos are actually kind of sped up. Even if they're only sped up 2 times, it can still be hard to try to follow along with those videos and letter as quickly as they're going on the video. So that's why I think that those Letter With Me videos can be really helpful, and I actually hear that feedback from you guys a lot as well. So I hope that's helpful for you. I will link that in the description box below, as well as the link for the Eloise printable hand lettering worksheets. I do want to mention, I know that I say it all the time, but the hand lettering worksheets that I sell are digital downloads, so you can print those off at home, but I do not send out physical copies of workbooks. So I just wanted to let you know that I love printables and I personally purchase them quite often myself. So I hope that you love them as well. I'll link these below, and make sure to check out that Letter With Me video once you are ready to start practicing with me.